How's it going, guys? We're back this week with a little bit more of a laid-back video compared to the custom videos that we've kicked off this channel with over the last couple weeks. We're just checking out a snap build of a third-party kit from a company by the name of Mecha Core Industry. The Ixchel. Obviously, it's a very not so subtle reference to the design it draws inspiration from, given that it's a reference to the Mayan moon goddess. So a very not so subtle reference. And it's at 1/100 scale, which hasn't happened yet for the actual mobile suit it draws inspiration from under an official capacity. So I was just really excited to try it out because, again, it's a really cool Gundam, and I much more prefer 1/100 scale. So to try something that's very close to it was very intriguing, and the special display base, these initial runs of the kit that came with it, that was a major selling point for me too. So had to get my hands on that. But let's just kind of take a brief look here. This is the... Let's just get a good and okay angle here, guys. Just slide down a little ways. So these here all came with... this is something I really liked. It comes with fixed hands. Those of you who are like me and are a master grade enthusiast, you really like having fixed hands, because that's always one thing that's 1/144th scale has always had over the master over 1/100th is a lot of times you get those like most times you're going to get those fully articulating hands, but when you get fixed hands like this, obviously they hold weapons much better. They just hold up better over time, in my unqualified and unsolicited opinion. So it's always nice when you get these. So you get the left and right trigger hands. You get the expression hands, which are currently on the assembled kit at the moment. The clenched fists, and then the semi-open grip hands that allow you to grip like beam swords and some of these other weapons that this thing comes with. And then we have the 1/100th beam rifle here. This thing's pretty cool. This is the I will call it the primary base that this kit comes with. It's pretty simple. Nothing too crazy here. You've got right here, this section right here. You can extend it a little bit so that it extends. And then of course right here, it's just a click. So pretty basic stand. It's definitely decent. Plastic feels nice and everything. That's usually kind of been a gripe I've had trying third-party kits in the past. The plastic's like really soft and brittle, and makes you feel like it's not going to last. And then the other thing too is, along with all the parts to assemble the kit, you also get a sheet of water decals. When I took this out the first time looking at this stuff, I think if you're relatively seasoned with building Gunpla or just model kits in general, when you look at the paper that the decals are printed on, hopefully you might be able to kind of see that, but you just kind of know when you feel the paper if these are going to be good decals to work with or not. Sometimes you just kind of know when you're like, oh, I don't think I'm going to have a good time trying to use these. The better quality paper those are printed on, much cleaner. They're going to, number one, cleaner in detail, but also just they're going to be clean to work with on your model kits in general. So whether you just snap build the kit, do the water decals, or if you paint it and do the water decals yourself, either way, whichever way you choose to go. Obviously for this one, I plan to go back and paint this down the road, so we've left the water decals off of this build. So all I've done is just snap build this kit up. Let's just kind of take a little look here. See here to me, there's the the clear inspiration that these are, you know, it's the dead giveaway, I guess I would call it. But instead of like where in the actual established universe this this design comes from, these are psycho plates. Whereas on this one, these are holsters for weapons, which I pulled a couple out. And I'll show you those in a moment. But obviously, you got the back side of the base there to kind of brace this hefty boy, so he can stand upright. And one thing that's always nice, especially for me when it comes to Gundams and things like this, the actual eyes, they're a separate dedicated piece. It's always nice because masking and painting those eyes on 1/100th kits or 1/144th kits in general, it's I mean, I still do it because it's the level of detail I want, but it's kind of nice when you don't have to say, oh shoot, man, I'm in for a fun time masking all that stuff. But to me, this base was like such a huge selling point to me. It looks so cool, and you can just picture like taking neat pictures of your builds on that base, like it's this a cool space hangar. So that was one big part that was just a huge selling point for me. This is a rather large 1/100th scale. I'll have to edit in somewhere like an official measurement of it. I think the online listing for it is it says 21 centimeters. So I think that feels pretty about right in terms of a measurement. So I'll edit something in with an official measurement in when I go to put all this stuff together. A lot of good color and part separation happening here. So it's definitely it's kind of giving you those vibes of like the resin conversion kits that we all, whether you've done them yourself or you've just seen people post them, it gives you that level of potential detail. There's so much part separation, so you could really do something similar to that. They're going to make it look like a resin conversion. Lots of good detailing going on here. Obviously, I didn't panel line this because, again, like I said, I plan to go back and paint this down the line. Here are the weapons that come out of those holsters that I was just showing you. Right here, this is the beam sword. Obviously, it's got a a rifle part of it too, so it's supposed to be able to shoot beam weaponry as well. The blade is actually currently extended on it, the beam blade. It actually collapses down. A little better. And then right here we've got the little beam rifle, or beam style shotgun, if you will. I think you can kind of see this is one of those dead giveaways of what mobile suit this is inspired by. To me, that's definitely hands down been the best third-party kit I've tackled to date. I feel like I've tried a pretty good amount of them over the years, as some of them have been upstarts and some of them just been the tried and true that hobbyists go to when it comes to utilizing third parties for that. Quality, the plastic feels quality. That's always been one of my gripes with one of the third-party kits I've tried in the past. The plastic was really soft and brittle, and on top of that, the fit was not clean at all. Really, it was like a struggle to get parts to fit the way they should, whether that meant like excessive sanding or like almost quite literally modifying things to make them fit. I didn't have to fight with this to assemble it, but that being said, I did use mini drill bits and did sand down I did kind of take my sanding sponges and kind of slimmed the pegs down for a lot of the fitment, simply because I plan to tear this apart and paint it and go back to paint it someday. So I did go that little slightly extra mile just to make tearing this apart easy when I feel ready to go back and tackle this. I didn't really deal with any challenges assembling it. Might not be a bad idea for you to do that just in case, just to maybe you'll snap it up and go back. So if you're like me and you have streaks where you just snap up the kits and then you go back and paint them later, I feel like a good amount of builders actually do that as their process. Most times I'm just going to go right in and paint it, but occasionally there's times like this where I'll go back and I'll snap it up and say, okay, I'll go back and paint this later, so let's just snap this up maybe that might be a process you'll want to follow yourself too if you plan to paint this. All in all, this is amazing. This is a really cool kit. The quality is definitely up there with theoretically what it kind of is stands alongside with in the model kit world, so to speak. I also wanted to give a thank you to Gundamaker for helping me get my greedy hands on this kit. So I got it. That's where I got it from. They let me kind of squeeze in on like the their pre-order slots, even though I was way past their deadline for it. So definitely appreciate them helping me out on that, so I could get this. Yeah. So if you want to get one, that's where I got it. I'll put a link in the description to there. So if you're interested at all in picking one up for yourself, it'll be linked there. I think we've rambled enough about the kit. Let's talk about things to expect in the next couple of weeks. Next, like I said, concluding the week prior, the snap build was next, and then we've got a couple custom projects in the pipeline. And the next one we're going to be working on, it's going to be a custom wing Gundam. So I'm actually going to start working on that very soon. So I'm not sure. I'm definitely not going to have that done in a week's time. But we'll work in a good section, and we'll just kind of put together a section of it. So it'll probably be a 2-part video, because we'll be able to do a decent amount in the first go around, this week, and then I'll finish it up the following week. And then the next project that will be the next custom project that will be in the pipeline, it's going to be a real grade kit. So I'll declare what that's going to be after after we finish the wing Gundam. But yeah, it's going to be a real grade that we're going to be working on. And then after that, we're going to start working on this thing out of frame. It's a 3D printed Final Fantasy IX character statue, if you will. It's Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, so if you're like me, that's one of your favorite games ever. You'll know who that is, and you'll know the moment that takes inspiration from when you see it. So we're going to start working on that one eventually too. So kind of got a little bit of a roadmap, so to speak, laid out. Thank you to Gundamaker for helping me get my hands on this Ixchel model kit, and we'll see you guys next week.